Don't you love it when you can use one item in two different ways? Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today we are going to be using these little cuties from the Dollar Tree, and these are the 8-inch wreath forms. They come in a set of 2, and what we're going to be doing is making centerpieces that can be also used as little wreaths. Let's get started. Starting with my 8-inch wreath form, I have some burlap ribbon, some beautiful Dahlia bushels from the Dollar Tree, and then you're going to need 5 to 7 cotton buds depending on how fluffy you make your wreath. I got these from the Dollar Tree. They also come in a little packet, and that one comes between 3 and 4 in one depending on how big the actual cotton buds are. I'm going to prepare my flowers, and I'm going to take all the flowers from the stem, including the greenery. And of course, don't forget to save these for future projects. As far as the cotton buds, I'm going to remove them from the stem. Grabbing my burlap ribbon, I'm going to hot glue it to the actual wreath form. Now for the flowers, it is very important that you do not cut this part off, because if you do, it'll fall apart. This is the reason we are using a burlap ribbon to wrap it around, because it has little holes and you can take your flower and just poke them straight in. And of course, I'm going to use hot glue, and what the hot glue is going to do is it's going to permanently seal this little part of the flower and everything that connects to the flower, that little bud, and I'm going to just poke it through. And as you can see, I'm going on the outside, and I'm going to have 2 rows. I'm going to have a row of flowers going on the outside and the inside. I want this to be really full. So that is what I'm doing right now. I'm going all around the wreath and just hot gluing these gorgeous dahlias onto our wreath form. I'm going about 1 inch apart, and it's filling in so nicely. I'm going to go now in between them and put more flowers there. One last thing as far as hot gluing these in place, make sure you are using a low temperature hot glue gun, because the plastic on these flowers is quite thin. So if you use a high temperature hot glue, it's just going to melt this part and it's not going to go in through the little holes in the burlap. My wreath is filled in and it is so beautiful and full. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the little cotton buds, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the little leaves through it just like this. I'm going to grab the little leaves, and these are the leaves that came with the flowers, and I'm going to remove this plastic part, put that to the side, and then just put it straight through just like this. Since I'm not going to need this full length right here, I'm just going to snip it off. My little cotton buds are done, and I made sure that the little stem that had the flower bud on it was really flat against the actual flower bud. So now I'm just going to go around and find that first initial place where I'm going to place it. Lots of hot glue and the flower bud right in. While my little cotton bud is getting set in place, I'm going to just place these around the wreath where I want them, and then I'm going to do the same thing, go around and hot glue them to the actual wreath base. If you want to leave the wreath like this, that's fine. I just want to put a little bit more greenery here and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab more of these leaves, remove the little plastic part, and cut it in half. And then I'm going to just hot glue it in between my little cotton buds. Just a little bit of hot glue in between these flowers. And it just gives that little natural look to it, where greenery is peeking out here and there. Some of them I'm just sticking straight in the flower. No one's gonna see on the sides. To hang this cutie, I'm just going to grab some jute cord and find a place where I can get through and just make a little knot. And there you go. The back is pretty, and we're ready to either hang it or make it a gorgeous centerpiece. For this wreath, I'm going to start off with an 8-inch wreath form, then 4 types of fabric from the Dollar Tree, and this one has little trucks and pumpkins on it, super cute for fall, and a pair of pinking scissors. These are my mom's, they're vintage ones, and these are really heavy duty. I'll give you a link where you can find something similar on Amazon. You can also use your rotary cutter, but you are going to need the little attachment. I bought this separate at Joann's, and it's basically a little zigzag attachment that you can use for this. And of course, this is much easier and quicker than the scissors. It all depends if you want the zigzag look, straight look, or you can pretty much just rip these apart. I just have to show you how pretty this is. And of course, the truck is my favorite color and I love that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the edge first, and I'm going to be making strips that are about 1.5 inch by 6 inches. You don't want these to be too long because you have to consider the fact that this is going to be a wreath that's just going to be standing on the table or hanging, and you want to make sure that it'll stand up, that eventually the fabric won't kind of weigh down. And if it does, it's just the beauty of it. It's all right. Next, I'm going to cut the edges real quick and then fold my strips into 3. After you fold your strip into 3, you're going to have strips that are about 7 inches. And I'm just going to continue doing this until I'm done with this fabric and also these 3 rolls. I already have 2 cut up. I have 2 more to do. And for those who are wondering where Leo is, he's always next to me. I have the fabric all cut up, and it's in the order that I'm going to be putting it onto the wreath. You don't even have to have an order. This is just a rag wreath. But I did want to show you this. Sometimes the Dollar Tree fabric comes really kind of curled up, where even if you use it, it's not going to look right. And if you want to, of course, as I said, extra step, just use a flat iron and just iron it a little bit, just really quickly. And look at this. Here's the nice iron side, and here's the curled up one. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side because the fabric from the Dollar Tree does have a little bit of starch. But as I said, extra step, no need to do it, but I wanted to show you what I did on some of them that were really bad. This fabric in particular just was not nice like this. It was very curled up and wrinkled. To put on our wreath for, I'm just going to go row by row from the inside to the outside, and all I'm doing is just doing 1 tie. You don't have to do double tie on these, just 1 tie. And I'm just going to do it until the sections are filled up. I'm not going to be really paying attention as to how many in each section. I don't think you need to. You just go along and start filling them in until you feel like they are full. The first row is all done, and after I finished it, what I realized was 4 sets of these. So 4 sets of the 4 went into each section. Now I'm just going to fold it over and start working on the next one. All the layers are on. Anything that was left from the little piles, I basically just kind of finished off in the back, but I think it looks so pretty. Now everything that's on the wrong side right here in the back, I'm either going to just push it forward, or like in this middle row, you would just pull it through to the other side so that all the little tails are on top. And then I'm going to shake a little bit like that just to kind of wake it up. And that's it. This is going to be a very happy fall wreath with some sunflowers and shades of blue from the little truck right here, or teal actually. And that is it for the centerpiece. For this wreath, I'm going to start with the 8-inch wreath form, 8 pipe cleaners, and 3 rolls of Deco mesh from the Dollar Tree. The first thing I'm going to do is cut my pipe cleaners. I like to cut these in 4-inch little strips, and after I do that, I like to take them and fold them in half in a little V so they're easy to pick up when I'm making my little cruffles. The Dollar Tree Deco mesh is 6 inches in width and 5 yards in length, and what we're going to do is cut it into 22-inch strips, and we're going to get 8 of these 22-inch strips per roll. As you can see, one of these rolls is not like the others, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 1 cruffle and then 2 of these, 1 of these, and then 2 of these, and then go all the way around the wreath form. I got my ribbon all cut up. Now it's time to make the cruffles. I'm going to just grab it, roll it maybe a few times, maybe 2 times, then clip it. You can clip it. This is a Dollar Tree clip. You can also use a clothespin, whatever you have on hand. Then we're going to go to the opposite side and roll about 2-3 times. Then I'm just going to put my thumbs right in the center and walk the cruffle up. I'm going to let the curls curl up, meaning they're curling this way instead of down. This will give it a little bit more volume. Grabbing my pipe cleaner, put it straight in the center right here. You're usually going to have about 1 inch gather, so what I do is I'm just going to pull it back, 2 tight twists, and look at that, you have a pretty little cruffle. Let's do another one. I'm just going to roll the Deco mesh about 3 times, clip it on one side, go to the next side, 1, 2, 3 maybe, put my thumbs right in the center, and we're going to just walk it in. When we have it, I'm going to grab my little pipe cleaner, put it right over the center right here. We're going to just pull on my little pipe cleaners and make that a little bit tighter. 2 twists, and look at that, we have a beautiful little cruffle. My cruffles are all done, and I'm just going to start putting them on the wreath form. I'm just going to use this middle row, and I'm going to put 8 in each, starting with 2 of these that I have from over here and 1 like this. Just a few twists in the back, fold it in half, just like this, and fold it back. And I'm just going to do this going all the way around. And look how it's filling in. So nice and full and curly. I'm just going to continue filling it in all the way around. All the Deco mesh is on. Here's how it looks from the back. And it is so full. If using as a centerpiece, I'm just going to put it through. Look at this. It's beautiful. It's all done. There's a lot of colors in the Deco mesh itself, including the little foil through it. So you can just leave it as is. But I decided just to decorate it just a teeny beeny bit. I have these sweet little pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, and I only have 3 of them. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to work with what I have, and I'm going to put them through. They come out about 1 inch on the outside, so I'm just going to bend the wire in the back to secure it in place here. I can use a little hot glue or something, and then we are going to put 2 more. Just going to eye it right now. In between the pumpkins, I had the idea of putting this faux leather bow, and while it's brown and matches the stubs of the pumpkin, I just felt like it blended in a little bit too much. So then I decided to grab these berries. These are actually from spring, and I'm going to just put them in between the pumpkins and hot glue them in place. And I think this is going to work lovely. It brings out the yellow that's already in the Deco mesh, and it just gives this full, complete look on the wreath. What do you think? hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making these 3 little centerpieces, hashtag wreaths, and let me know down below which one was your favorite. If you love content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell button so you are notified every time a video comes out. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I love you guys and have a beautiful day. Bye bye, my sweet friends. Mwah.